the Edranol avocado, an historic and high quality avocado. So back in 1927, the seedling for this tree was planted in Vista in North San Diego County. And so it's an old variety. These are all Edranol, and as you can see, it's got a green skin that stays green even when it's ripe. Kind of an olive green skin. It's not a yellowish green like this West Indies type avocado. And it's not a deep, I don't know, army green like this Helen. A bit more of a green. This is a gem, just for comparison, which is similar to a Hass, a little bit bigger than a Hass. Turns black when it ripens. So Edranol, from the outside, it's got that green skin. It's got a pear shape with a bit of a neck, even a little bit of a crooked neck at times. And it also gets some russeting on the skin, especially if grown in certain locations. Similar, it kind of reminds me of Gwen in that it discolors a bit when it ripens. It gets like a bit of a blacking, blacking, is that a word? A darkening of the skin in patches a little bit. And it also similar to a Gwen, even though it's mature, it'll get a little bit of shriveling up the neck. So I'm doing this video here in early May. And Edranol is definitely mature at this time of year, but it'll still do a little bit of that shriveling as if it's not mature. But let's cut one open. I'm going to choose this one. Let me get some of these out of the way. Seed is medium sized, medium small maybe. Flesh color's pretty, it's good enough. It's a real cream color to it. Not a whole lot of green, not a whole lot of bright yellow. It's always just it's good enough. It's not like the greatest color. If you compare it to Charwil, I think of Charwil a lot when I think of Edranol, just because there's a lot of similarities. But Charwil has better color, no doubt, and a smaller seed. But Edranol still has a very acceptable color and seed size. Speaking of the seed, a man named Rideout apparently gave the seed to a guy named Mullen who planted it in Vista back in the late 20s. And Rideout grew a variety called Lion, and so a lot of his seeds were just open pollinated lion seeds. And so that's where the Edranol is said to come from, an open pollinated lion seed. Incidentally, Rideout also gave open pollinated lion seeds to a man named Rudolf Hass in 1926, so the year prior. And that's where the Hass tree is thought to have come from, an open pollinated lion seed from the same guy, Rideout. Anyway, this does sometimes happen with Edranol, a little bit of flesh sticking to the seed. Not a big deal at all. The seed always comes out pretty cleanly, though. No seed coat sticking to the flesh or anything. No big deal like that. It's a good seed. In terms of the skin, it's kind of a medium-ish skin in terms of thickness, and not a gritty kind of thing. And it peels very well. Let me just demonstrate. It's really clean, peeling, pliable skin. Very nice. I mean, that's as good as it gets, really. It's got like the skin of an Edranol is as good as you can hope for an avocado skin to be excellent. The flesh, no fiber. It's like a very nice, pretty much fiber free. I mean, there'll be a little bit maybe toward the skin and toward the stem, but it's a pretty fiber free flesh in terms of texture. It's got no problems there. It's also a nice eating texture, like a nice firmness, not mushy like a surprise or a bacon can get. It's got a firmness, but it's also not rough and chunky either. And a very fine flavor. No one has ever complained about the flavor of Edranol. It's always been known as a good flavored avocado, a great eating avocado. It's just kind of an all around, you know, what you'd expect. It tastes pretty similar to Hass, you know, that nutty avocado flavor that you want. It's not strong or peculiar in any way, really. So why isn't it grown so much? It just has never been like so reliably productive in California. It's a B type, so that tells you something. Mostly B types are not as well as reliably productive as A types. So at a time, Edranol and Nabal were grown commercially in California, but since they're not as reliably productive throughout the avocado growing areas, they kind of went by the wayside and Hass took over. And but it's a good tree. It's a slender, kind of upright, compact tree. Doesn't take up much space, and it can be a good pollinizer for an A type. It has been grown for a long time in South Africa and some other places. The season is basically spring into summer. It's really a Hass season. And so it's used often as a pollinizer for Hass. Great eating avocado, the Edranol.